Hi everyone, going live in just a minute or two. Cool, right. Let's get started. Right, so I've posted the very latest version of the Near SDK to the channel in our Discord server, so the Morgan's Courses channel in the Discord server, and I've already imported it in here just to speed things up a little bit. But what you'll want to do is just get it and drag and drop it in here, and mine's saying nothing to import because I've already imported it. You may want to, if you followed the last one and the last stream, you may want to just delete the RFG folder and the WebGL templates folder just to be on the safe side. And I would delete near callbacks and near canvas as well. And then just import the package, and what you'll want to do then is come to the prefabs folder and just drag the near callbacks and the near canvas back in again. And you'll see that it's changed a little bit, right? So we just had a text field that kind of showed you some information about the tokens, but I've just added a bit more to this now, so you can see the NFT image and you can click and select one. So let me just take you through that now and show you what that looks like. So if I hit the play button, and it says you must sign in. If you try and get tokens without signing in, it says you must sign in to get tokens. So I will sign in, and then we should be able to hit the get tokens button, and it goes away, grabs the tokens from the wallet, and what it does is now displays the image of that token, so that's kind of cool. And then we've just got these hooked up, so if you click select, it says token ID 12 was selected, select here, token ID 13 was selected, and of course you can see that we can then hook this into our game, and we can use this to choose which character we're going to go into in our game. So let me just, so this is in the editor, right? So it's not in the editor, it's not looking into your near wallet. But it is actually pulling these images down from the internet, right? So it's doing part of the job correctly in the editor. But let me just show you when it's deployed what it's doing. So this is one I've just built, and if I click sign in, it actually correctly goes away and wants you to sign into your Near wallet. So I'm just going to log into my Near wallet. I'm going to log into this hooks.near contract, which I know has some NFTs in it. Well, my wallet has some NFTs from that contract in it. Now it's not going to look pretty. I still need to do some changes to the UI, but you'll just have to bear with me a bit. I'm just going to tidy that up tomorrow, but the functionality is all pretty well in place now. So if I click on get tokens, then you see it's just pulled these tokens from my Near wallet and it's displaying them here.
Wow, this is impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like if I go to my Near wallet now, you can see that that it's these three tokens that are in my Near wallet, and now we're showing them inside a Unity Unity project, right? And you can click on them and choose.
So they're tokens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
PFP token.
Sorry?
So it's like a PFP token, right? Because to me they look more like POAPs, but you're saying they're like NFTs essentially.
Yeah, they are. There's no difference really between these and bog standard NFTs. They follow the same standards and everything. So yeah, they're just essentially NFTs that are being used in a POAP kind of way, which kind of is what POAPs are anyway. Really, they're only NFTs really. So yeah, if this is in the browser, this is pulling from the wallet. It's bringing down the images directly from the internet. These are actually held on IPFS, which is the Interplanetary File System. And I'll show you the code that's doing that, so you've got an idea of that. And like I say, I've got to tidy this a little bit up, put a gap between these and everything, and make it look a bit nicer. But the functionality's there, so that's pretty cool.
Oh wow, the foxes.
Yeah. So this is.
Are they on here?
No, they're not. So in the editor, it's faking it a bit, right? So because you can't get from within the editor with the SDK the way it is now, it's just a WebGL SDK, and so it won't work fully inside the editor. So I'm faking a bit of it, right? So I'm faking that I've got 12 and 13 in my near wallet, which I haven't. But it is actually going out and pulling these down from the internet, so it's doing some of the job there. And it's very handy to kind of fake it a bit in the editor, because then at least you can kind of see how it should work when it's deployed, and gives you at least a sense of how things should work. Right, let me take you through some of the code so that you can kind of see what's going on. Which bits are being faked in the editor, which bits are actually working correctly in the editor, and obviously everything works nicely once deployed. So let's see. So this is the. Let me just reduce this a bit. There you go. So as you can see, I've got dummy tokens here, right? So this is the bit that's kind of faked in the editor. So you saw that token ID 12 was showing, and it actually, oops, it actually, I'm sort of hardwiring this in so that it kind of shows the fox image.
As long as this is not confidential information, it's okay.
Well, it's just 12 and 13, so I don't know who owns those. I guess I should use some that I own, but maybe before I do the full release. But anyway, it's just an interim solution. So this is the dummy information that it's using in the editor, and this is what this kind of if not Unity editor is doing, right? So if not Unity editor, it's running all the proper code. It's going out and integrating with the JavaScript SDK how it should once deployed. Otherwise, you're in the editor and all this stuff is kind of faking it a bit, and just faking it so that you can but it's nice to have something being faked so you can kind of see it working in the editor to a certain degree. So like it's, there's no such thing as testing.near, this is just a fake account, and I'm faking getting these dummy tokens, right?
What language is that then?
So this is C#, but this here is actually integrating with JavaScript. So we have this is kind of defining one side of the interface, and then if I show you, we actually have the JavaScript code here. So this is the JavaScript code, and I mean the interesting thing about JavaScript and C# is that they've started to look quite similar. They both kind of nick each other's good ideas, and yeah, because like C# now has awaits and asyncs and stuff, and so yeah, they look pretty similar in a lot of respects. So but this isn't truly JavaScript. This is kind of, this JS lib thing is kind of like a little bit of a faked JavaScript, I suppose. But yeah, this is the JavaScript side. Right. So this is the bit that I had before, and I'll just show you the bit that I've kind of added today. And this is the bit that just gets the image, right? So what happens is when you get the token data from the wallet, as you can see, you get this kind of information back. You get the token ID, pretty handy, obviously, and then you get some metadata that's attached to that, that's associated with that token ID. And one of the important ones is this media, and this is essentially the URL to the image. But yeah, it's just a URL, it's not an image itself, so you need some code to go out to the internet and grab that image and bring it in to Unity, and this is what this code does. Now what you will find is that in that media field, if they're using IPFS, they'll have some of these forward slashes in, right? And I just look for about 3 in a row, and that's probably enough to kind of tell me, right, this is an image that's on the interplanetary file system. And so I have to swap in, because IPFS is somewhat, there can be many endpoints and for IPFS. They don't tend to build them in. They don't tend to stick them in the media field. They tend to just put some slashes in, or I think with OpenC it's just IPFS : So for near, I look for this. If I was on Polygon, I would look for IPFS : and I would switch it out with an IPFS URL that I know kind of works quite well, and this one seems to be quite a nice one. For your own projects, you might actually, for Rogue Fox Guild, we've set up our own IPFS endpoint, and so in our project I actually have a Rogue Fox Guild IPFS point in here, but this Cloudflare one will kind of work across the board, whereas our Rogue Fox Guild one will only really work for our foxes. And I swap this out, just basically do a replace and add this to the front of the data. And then all I do is I go out onto the web and ask for this, basically pass this Unity web request texture get texture function the URL of the image, and it comes back. Now the only kind of fancy bit here is because I don't really want this class to be a mono behavior, I quite like these sort of statics like this. I didn't want to use a coroutine, so I'm using async awaits, and so there's a little bit of magic going on here, nothing too serious, but I'll just show you that you need this bit of magic here to get the async awaits to work. So that's you know, if you're wondering what this means, it just it enables async awaits to be usable in Unity, and they're nice and handy because it just makes the code a lot tidier. Because if you look at let's have a look. So if I go to my near controller, instead of having to do a coroutine and a yield and all that sort of rubbish, I just do that, just one liner, await, and it won't carry on to the next line until it's got a texture, right? And then it just carries on. So it's quite a nice coding experience, adding async awaits to your code, and so I think that's worthwhile just to have this extension method that kind of enables all that. So that just just makes this a lot tidier, and it seems to work in WebGL fine as well. And this really is what's adding to this grid here. So so I'm basically just instantiating a prefab, setting the image, title, token ID, setting up that button that you see where that I click on, and of course the handy thing here is that we can put anything we want in this bit of code here. So we can, you know, check what token they've clicked on, and then probably, you know, go straight into the multiplayer game using that character. So that's probably what will happen in this bit of code over the next couple of days. So so this is the bit that's gonna change. Everything else will probably stay pretty well the same, yeah, apart from tidying up the UI a bit. Anything else interesting here? Not really. I think I've gone through some of this stuff before. Just signing into your Near wallet. That's about it. Oh yeah, the only other thing here is this is what will change, right? So this is the hooked.near contract that's got those perapps in that I'm showing at the moment, right? So we can change this to the contract that we're going to be creating probably tomorrow. So so this will change as well. So we'll put in our contract ID in here, and it will reach into our wallet. If we've minted anything from that contract that we've deployed, then we'll see it pop up in our interface. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And I think that's about it for today. I don't think I've got much more to show you. Just to remind you that yes, you have to drag in these prefabs, and the only other thing you need to do is go to build settings, make sure you've selected WebGL, and then in player settings you just, is it player settings? No, I'm adrift there. It's oh yeah, no, it's player settings. It's here, yeah, resolution and presentation. You need to select this WebGL template, the Near one. So if you have this one or this one selected, then sadly nothing will work. The Near WebGL template is pulling in the Near JavaScript SDK library that it needs to do its work. So so that's very important. But that's about it. So, you know, pretty well a drag and drop solution for reaching in and pulling information from your wallet. And yeah, I've got this we can change the contract ID here. So this is in our so this is this is setting up the default, so it defaults to this, but if we override it here, then this will be basically our contract ID. So this is where we would change it here, and hopefully that would be enough to see any NFTs associated with that contract in our wallet. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. So that's going to be pretty cool. So that's about it. What I will do is I will do a little bit more work on this package for tomorrow, and I will drop the latest version into my course channel, and then we'll use that to kick off the video tomorrow, and pretty sure we will be looking at creating our own contract, deploying it. We'll see how far we get. We may even get to the point where we mint something and see it appear in here, but that's quite a lot to do, so we'll see how we get on. Cool. Okay, well, thanks everyone. I hope that was useful, and yeah, looking forward to the next session where we start integrating with our own contract and adding our own NFTs. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, there's quite a few people in here. Just looking at the Discord server. I'll stop streaming on YouTube. And then answer any questions.